Kmu Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kmu Live Pod. I'm your host, Ricky Tabruggi, and joining me this week is Derek Relaford. Janine will not be here tonight. She's a little bit under the weather tonight, so we're hoping to see her back next week. So get well soon, Janine. How you doing, Derek?
Doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. Just getting back to work after taking last week off from work to try to get some stuff done around here, and had a little bit of unexpected fun last Thursday. Me and my brother decided to try to head over to the Steeple Theater downtown because Clay Walker, who's a country singer, is doing a concert at the Steeple that night. We decided to go over that afternoon about between 3 and 3:30. We wanted to try to see if we could get his autograph and stuff, and we did end up getting his autograph. He come down off the bus, and I didn't realize that his multiple sclerosis has gotten so bad, though. He was using a cane in one hand and hanging on to somebody else's shoulder to walk to the building, and he saw us standing there, and he started waving us over like that. So we walked over and signed some stuff for us and asked him for a picture and a picture with him. And he said, "Not the way I look right now, but if you come back to the show tonight." And I said, "Well, to be honest with you," I said, I really can't afford tickets for the show tonight because they started at $69.
Yeah.
So I said I wasn't planning on going to the show. And he looked over to the guy that was helping him get to the building. And he said, "Get these guys some tickets." And there was another guy that was back there that was working security that me and my brother know. And he said, "What name do you want him under?" I said, "I just put him under mine." So we left after they went inside and went back over to the Steeple around concert time, went over to the will call. And sure enough, we had 2 tickets waiting for us.
That's rad, dude.
Yeah, here's my ticket right there.
Clay Walker.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
He was a mega star in the 90s. I remember he was a pretty big celebrity as far as country music goes.
His concert was really good because he mixed it up. He did some of his stuff. He did a little bit of Keith Whitley. Then he threw in Bob Seger's Night Moves, and he threw in Poison's Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And then he got talking about his keyboard, how good of a musician and stuff his keyboard player was. So his keyboard player did Elton John's Rocket Man. So they were really mixing it up. It was pretty cool. Well, what impressed me the most, though, was there was these 4 little girls. It was about 3 or 4 songs into the concert. And he started the concert standing, and about 3 or 4 songs in, they brought him a chair out, and he was sitting in this chair doing songs. And these 4 little girls in these cowboy hats were down by the stage, and he's like, talking. And he says, "Well, hang on a minute, I'm going to sign these girls' hats." He said, "This is my next generation of fans over here." And he signed their hats. And then there was a guy that had walked down the stage, had 2 prosthetic legs, and he wanted one of his prosthetic legs signed. So he took his leg off and handed it to the guy that was taking stuff over to Clay, and he signed it and brought it back over to the guy, and the guy popped it on and walked on down the aisle.
That's right.
It was cool. It was a really good show. Never did get the picture with him, though. We waited out back behind the Steeple till about 1:15 in the morning, trying to catch him as he was coming out. But we were told earlier on that he had family and friends that had come in for the show, and they were upstairs or inside visiting.
I didn't even know he was sick, but if he's got multiple, he's probably just like, even if he looks his best, he probably doesn't love getting his photograph taken.
Probably.
He's probably just self-conscious about it. But it's cool that Maria says she's going to see Alabama on the 24th.
That's cool.
I love Alabama, but those guys gotta be 1,000 years old. They were older when I was fans of them. Clay Walker. Yeah.
Well, one of the originals passed away. I think it was Jeff Cook, the fiddle player. I believe he passed away years back. But I did meet the original lineup when they did a show here in Salina. God, I can remember how many years ago. Man, it was outside the Holiday Inn Holidome, which is currently being torn down, but it was really cool.
Chris
Oh, he did
George
Clay
Strait.
Walker did a George Strait song too. I almost forgot about that.
Chris says he saw George Strait in 14 at the Intrust Bank Arena with Merle Haggard and Leanne Womack.
Oh wow, Merle Haggard's no longer with us either. So that's been a
Yeah,
little while ago.
A lot of those country guys, it's probably good that they're gone now that all this new music, this new country's coming out. I don't know how much they'd like it, but
Yeah.
well, we got a lot to get into. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Hit that like button, hit that share button. We'll be right back after this.
All right.
Part 1. Cold Cases, Stories Left Untold, Families Seeking Answers, and Justice Waiting in the Shadows. Together, we uncover the truth.
All right. I start off with Wanda Dyer here. I wanted to get her back on the show because I made some updates to her flyer and stuff over the last probably week. She's listening from Lawrence, Kansas since March 21st, 2025. She's 74, 5'2", 117 pounds.
Hey, Rick, go ahead and come back. You're doing the robot again. I'll go ahead and read this while you're coming back. Wanda Dyer, Lawrence, Kansas, missing since March 21st, 2025. 5'2", 117 pounds. She has black and gray hair and brown eyes. She went missing from Lawrence, Kansas on March 21st, 2025, around 8 a.m. Wanda was last seen in Eudora, Kansas, outside Zeb's Coffee House on March 21st at 7:18 p.m., which was confirmed by a photo. Let me add Rick in here real quick. There you go. Now you're at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Confirmed by a photo. Let me see here. Wanda does suffer from dementia and does experience confusion and memory issues. It's believed that Wanda may be heading east toward Eudora or possibly the Kansas City area. Wanda is 74 years old, 5'2", and weighs 117 pounds. She has black and gray hair and brown eyes. Wanda was believed to be wearing a black jacket with a pink lining or pink hoodie, multicolored pants, and carrying a backpack and a floral pattern bag. Any information, please reach out. Lawrence Police Department, 785-843-0250, or you can call the KBI at 785-296-4017. You know why this one isn't considered just with her age and then the saying that her memory issues, why this one isn't a silver alert?
It actually is a silver alert. I just haven't got it over to that template yet, but it is actually a silver alert. And one other thing to note is, I guess apparently she used to live in Kansas City at one time, so they think she may be trying to make her way back to Kansas City. So,
yeah, that's terrifying if you're having memory issues and
you're
out trying to travel. Who knows what year you're trying? You might be traveling to an address you lived in 20 years ago.
Yeah. So we got Scott Messerschmidt watching from Emporia. And I hope I say this right. Ray Angela Danur. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, please forgive me. But from the Kyle Nugelbauer family. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for being here. And we are going to cover his flyer tonight, by the way. Am I sounding robotic or am I better?
You're good. You're good to go. You can go ahead and read.
Okay. This one is Carolyn DeLapp, missing from Wichita, Kansas since December of 2022. I still got to make some verifications on the age because I don't think it quite matches up with times, but that's what KBI has, so it's what I used. But it says she was 69 when she went missing, and she would now be 70. I think that's stretching it since it's been over 2 years. But 5'3", 200 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Carolyn's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department investigators at 316-268-4407. Or you can email the investigator at AOWEN, I guess it's AON, at wichita.gov, or call 316-263-6011, or KBI at 785-296-4017, and see what we can do to help get Carolyn located and make sure she's okay.
The Lap. That's an interesting last name.
Yeah, it is. I don't think I've ever heard that one before. And there's Kyle. And he is missing from Wichita also. And he's missing since December 17, 2024. 26 years old, 6 foot tall, 155 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen near 143rd and Highway 254 in Wichita. Was last seen wearing a black Carhartt jacket, jogging pants, and tennis shoes. If you have any information regarding Kyle's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can get Kyle located and back to where he needs to be.
That was a little while ago, man.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Pretty worried. Some people just take off for like, a few weeks, but this has been long enough that it's probably better find out where he's at.
Good evening, Rodney. And Queenie says, you know where I am. Yep, you're right here with us, Queenie. And thank you for being here. And this one is Jake Kenyon. And I really hope I don't start with the coughing nonsense tonight. I haven't been doing it all day, so why now? I don't know. Jake's missing from here in Solana, Kansas. This is going to be an interesting one here. Missing since January 23rd, 2022. Was 30 when he was missing. He's now 33. 5'6", 175 pounds. Black hair, brown eyes. Maybe driving a white 2018 Honda Accord with New Jersey license plate number X64PJD. I've got a picture of a car similar to his up there at the top. He was a resident of Maple Shade, New Jersey, and it is their police department that is investigating his disappearance. He was not reported missing until July 13th of 2022, so almost 7 months. Again, when he went missing, he was 30. He's now 33, 5'6", 175 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. His ears are pierced, and he may wear eyeglasses. Has a tattoo of a flaming skull on his left forearm and a tattoo of a scorpion on his right forearm. Last known to be wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, dark blue jeans, and Puma shoes. If you have any information regarding Jake's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Maple Shade, New Jersey Police Department at 856-779-7111 or 856-234-8300 and see what we can do to get Jake located and make sure he is safe and okay. And Queenie, you're her, ha.
I always think it's I don't know, like you go to where is it? What's the guy's name? I have it up here somewhere. Randy Leach. Anytime you have a person and a vehicle, a car's like what, 1,000 pounds, man. Like you have like a something as big as a car that people can't locate. That's scary, man. You don't know where a car is. I could see like, you have trouble finding a person, but the whole car, that's scary.
Right.
Salina, what kind of water is around you? Like water holes that would be big enough that could hide a car for a long time.
There's Lakewood Park over on the north part of town. They just filled in the duck pond over in Jerry Ivy Park. There's Saline County State Lake, just kind of northwest of town, just a hair. Canopolis, about 40 miles west of here. That'd be about the closest ones that I can think of.
No rivers, though, right? Salina's not close to like any big rivers, right?
Not big ones. We got like a small one that runs through town.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those cases, you just wonder if somebody fell asleep at the wheel. Maybe they were intoxicated. They ran off the road. And if they go in water and the whole, like you've seen the YouTube videos, if your windows are rolled up and you go underwater, you can't just open your, it's a pressure thing. It's a disaster. So anytime a whole car's missing, I always wonder about water because I'm like, how do you hide a whole car?
Right. Lakewood might be, and Queenie's asking if Lakewood would be deep enough. I think it probably would be. I think it might be.
Currently 141 missing kiddos and 364 adults in Kansas.
Wow.
We started the show with 140 missing children. So there's been one added. You'll be making a flyer tonight, it sounds like.
Probably. Okay, this is Kimberly Barnes. She's missing from Hutchinson, Kansas since June 28th of 2024. 57 when she's been missing. She's now 58. 5'8", 210 pounds, blonde and gray hair and brown eyes. She is bipolar and schizophrenic, and she's been without her medication. She also does suffer from substance abuse issues, and she is not stable to be out on her own, and she does not have any money with her. And she was 57 when she went missing. She's now 58, same age as me. 5'8", weighs 210 pounds, blonde and gray hair and brown eyes. She does wear eyeglasses occasionally. If you have any information regarding Kimberly's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Hutchinson, Kansas Police Department at 620-694-2800 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Kimberly located and back to where she needs to be. I know she's got a daughter that's worried to death about her and would really like to get her home.
Yeah, 2 months shy of a year. That's not good.
No.
Anytime you have to change that age on a flyer, that's usually just like not fun. It's all possible. Could you please do Dana's flyer? And I will explain why later.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Let me load it in here real fast. And we can do that. Just give me 2 shakes of a rat's tail here. Now we'll load it into our out-of-state section here, and we will do those later on. Let's see here. This is John Jensen, and I know his daughter pops in from time to time to see how things are going. Jonathan Jensen is missing from Kerwin, Kansas since June 14th, 2023. 52 when he went missing. He's now 54. 5'11", 190 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He left without his vehicle, his phone, or his wallet. He does have mental health issues and does occasionally have episodes. And he was 52 when he went missing. He's now 54. 5'11", weighs 190 pounds, has brown hair and hazel eyes. If you have any information regarding Jonathan's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Phillips County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-543-6885 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get John located and back home. Once again, another daughter worried sick about her dad, wanting him home. Let's see what we can do.
A lot of people go missing in June, or at least on the flyers we're covering tonight. There's been several that went missing in June.
Yeah. And this one is Casey K. Lynn Shannon McMurray. She is missing from here in town, Salina, Kansas, since January 1st of this year. 35 when she was missing. She's now 5'2", 136 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Casey's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Casey located and back to where she needs to be. And put in some old ones tonight because I was really getting low on cases because I was clearing those out that had been located, and so I brought some of the older ones back tonight.
Well, when the missing moms thing happened here in last March, a lot of people started talking about Michael Golub because, luckily they found the moms, but with Michael Golub, it was not just a missing person. It was kind of anybody that was living. I wasn't living in Elkhart around this area then, but anybody that was living here back then was reminded like when there was a missing person and the media was everywhere. So.
Yeah, and Michael Golub's missing from Stanton County, Kansas since May 20th of 2005. 27 when he was missing. He's now 47. 6'2", weighs between 165 and 180 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. He just finished work at his job at Kramer Harvesting, was supposed to pick up his 5-year-old son at his ex-girlfriend's home, but never arrived there. He's never been heard from again. He left behind a fiancée with whom he had an infant child. It is uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. Michael's golden brown Chevy S10 pickup with toolboxes in Trego County, Kansas license plate was found abandoned on a county road in northwest Grant County, Kansas, 2 days after his disappearance. Following the truck's location, authorities began investigating Michael's disappearance as a potential homicide. And weren't you telling me that his son now drives that truck?
That's what I heard from. This was a few years ago. I interviewed his
Yeah.
sister, 2 of his sisters, and they said that one of his children is driving the milk truck. But that was a few years ago.
That's cool. Okay, here. Shannon Floyd, Golub's ex-girlfriend, and her husband, Chad Floyd, were arrested and charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in Michael's case in June 2006. Authorities believe he went to their home and was shot to death on the night of his disappearance. There was a great deal of animosity between Shannon and Michael, and they frequently disagreed over child support and visitation issues relating to their son. Michael's blood was found on the Floyd's front porch. The Floyd's defense attorney said there was insufficient proof that Michael was dead and suggested he had committed suicide or left on his own accord. At the couple's July 2007 trial, the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict, and a mistrial was declared. The second trial also ended with the jury unable to reach a verdict. Michael's body has never been found, but foul play is suspected in his case due to the circumstances involved. If you have any information regarding Michael's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Kansas Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-572-7463 or 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get him located and back to where he needs to be.
I'm not sure how it works either, but I do know that since it's been like a hung jury twice, I don't think you can charge either one of them again with this, unless
I think you might be right.
Michael. Like if you find Michael deceased, then I think all that stuff kind of goes away. But until you find I don't know, is that double jeopardy? I don't. From what I've heard from the sisters, as of right now, until they basically find concrete evidence that they harmed him, like those two people can't get tried again. From what I understand.
Yeah. This is Deonta. I hope I said that right. Deonta Long, watching from Lawrence and been out driving and looking for Wanda Dyer, bring Wanda home. Well, thank you for joining us. We covered her flyer at the very top of the show.
Thank you for looking for her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very scary.
Hopefully she's found soon and safe.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And this is another one I brought back tonight because we haven't covered his case in quite some time. Where are you at there, Colton? This is Colton Ross Barrera, missing from Russell, Kansas on September 26, 2008. Was 17 when he was missing. He's now 34. He's 5'9", weighs 135 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. A friend dropped him off. Well, this is the initial information that came out. Was a friend dropped him off at an outdoor skate park. Colton was supposed to call his friend when he wanted to be picked up, but he never did. Authorities believe he left of his own accord, but Colton's family does not believe this because he wasn't having any problems that caused him to run away, and he left his wallet and identification behind. And there is information suggesting that Colton may have been killed and his body hidden. So if anybody has any information on that, or you know where he might be, call the Kansas City field office of the FBI because his mom wants them called first at 816-512-8200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 or the Russell County, Kansas Sheriff's Department at 785-483-2151 and see what we can do to help get Colton located and back home to his family. If he has been killed and his body hidden, you know, his family deserves to be able to lay him to rest to where they have somewhere to go to mourn and visit him. So let's see what we can do to help get him located and back home to his family. But
and
remember,
there's a memorial page. I'm not going to read anything on here because I wouldn't be comfortable saying it. But if you just go look for Colton Barrera's memorial page, there's a number to call there. That might be the detective number. I'm not sure. And I don't know who runs this page, but I was just showing my studio help here. There's some just straight up allegations in the intro. So, you know, this is one of those ones that a while back you had said some person that was paying attention to your channel had said that Colton and several other missing people were all like Facebook friends, and like she didn't know if it meant anything, but she didn't know if it did mean anything. And it is weird that they were all from somewhat similar, you know, around the similar areas, and they're all missing and never been seen again. So.
Right. Yeah, she was talking about Colton and Megan Fogelsong and I think Charles McHenry. And I can't remember who the other ones were, but she was basically connecting them through the same circle of friends on their Facebook friends list is what she was doing.
Yeah.
And you are very welcome, Dan, to doing what we can to help get her found.
I mean, going missing is a hell of a thing to have in common, you know?
Yeah, it is.
It's just kind of crazy, man. Well, hopefully some answers are out there. I've heard through the grapevine that Colton's birth father's from here in Elkhart. I don't know if it's true or not, but every time we cover that, I feel a little stronger because I feel like he's maybe one of our Elkhart, a product of an Elkhart kid, you know. But go ahead and tell us about Billy Bob Black and Mary Lou Black.
Yeah, this one I dug out today too because it's been a while since we've talked about these two. There's Billy Bob Black and Mary Lou Black missing from Atchison, Kansas on September 11th, 2009. Billy was 74 when he went missing, and now be 89. 6 foot tall, 190 pounds, gray hair, brown eyes. Billy was 72 when she went missing, now 88, 5 foot 115 pounds, gray hair, brown eyes. Billy and his wife Mary disappeared from Atchison at 8:15 in the morning on September 11, 2009. They left their home in the 2400 block of Pacific Street in their light blue four-door 1990 Honda Civic with a Kansas license plate AWX605 and never returned. Their vehicle has never been located either. It has paint missing from the hood and its exhaust system is loud and dangles from the undercarriage. After their disappearances, the lights were found turned on in the Black's home. Billy and Mary's driver's licenses were there, as well as a checkbook and some cash, and Billy's insulin was in the refrigerator. They had one son together, and by the time their disappearances, both Billy and Mary had severe health problems. Billy was stressed from having to care for Mary and told her son it would be better for him if his parents weren't around. Authorities and members of the Black's family believe they're no longer alive. One theory is they drove accidentally or intentionally into the Missouri River. Little evidence is available in their cases, however, and their disappearances remain unsolved. If you have any information regarding Billy and Mary's disappearance, or you know of their whereabouts, please call the Atchison County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 913-367-4323 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to help try to get those two located and back home to where they need to be.
And the son is claiming that the dad said it would be better if they weren't around anymore.
No, it's severe health issues, and Billy apparently was stressed from having to take care of Mary, and told her son it'd be better for him if his parents were not around. So,
I mean, just to be fair, he might have been a spry 74-year-old, but if you're 74, you probably shouldn't be taking care of any. You know, it's like, I mean, a lot of people are, sadly, but that's got to be very, very difficult to take care of somebody when you're 74.
Right. And Kelsey Youngblood's in the house. How you doing, Kelsey?
Nice. What's up, Kelsey? We have one more, and then we'll be going to Endangered Runaways. Thanks for watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Tell us about, and there's a really great, we've interviewed the guy who made it. There's a really great documentary about this case here. And I believe it's probably everywhere by now. Originally, it was on Tubi, but I think you could just type in Dolly Madison murders and an amazing, I don't know if it's on net. It's everywhere, but amazing documentary out of Great Bend, Kansas.
Yeah. Mandy Alexander and Mary Drake. Dolly Madison Bakery was the crime scene in Great Bend. It was on September 4th, 2002 at approximately 7:55. The Great Bend, Kansas Police Department responded to a call at the Dolly Madison Bakery at 1004 Harrison in Great Bend. Upon arrival, officers found two deceased females, victims of an apparent double homicide. Police have never said how the women died. The delivery truck driver who found the bodies said they were located in the back office. The witness described seeing a white male approximately 6'1" to 6'2", weighing 175 pounds, having collar length light brown to blonde hair, and a slight beard, walking away from the front door of the bakery. The murder weapon was never found, and no suspects have ever been arrested. Officials aren't sure what the motive was for the murders, although some money from the store was missing that night. On September 6, 2022, the KBI and Great Bend, Kansas Police Department, as a result of this new testing, male DNA was discovered on the sample collected from the body of one of the victims. KBI agents and detectives from the Great Bend Police Department have collected numerous DNA samples for comparison to the DNA discovered and will continue with these efforts. If you have any information on this crime, please call the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120 or the Barton County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-793-1876 or the KBI at 1-800-572-7463. And there is, last I knew, there was still $17,000 reward available for information leading to an arrest, conviction, and Mandy Alexander and Mary Drake's murders. So, again, if you have any information, no matter how small, please let them know so they can try to solve this thing.
Still 17,000. So this is my thing. Obviously, I'm not a cop and I'm not related to anybody, so I'm just the worst because I'm just somebody on the internet with an opinion. But to me, I understand keeping things close to the vest because there's only things that the killer would know. But in my opinion, we're 23 years. We're going to hit 23 years this year. Mm-hmm. They have DNA. So it's not even a thing like, well, if we say the wrong thing, we can screw it up. They have DNA. Really, they just have to find the person to match it to. And then that person's going to have hell trying to prove why their DNA was somewhere it shouldn't have been. It kind of bothers me. And again, I'm not a cop. I'm just, Monday morning quarterbacking. I think 23 years outside of this, and you still haven't told the public how they were, taken out. I think you release more details, you might get somebody talking. Maybe even if say there's somebody out there that knows that somebody harmed these ladies, took them out, and they don't know how they did it, so they've figured out some way to justify it, or maybe it was just like something where they didn't feel any. Like maybe the person that knows the stuff, knowing if it was horrible or not, would be like, okay, that's enough. I can't hold on to this anymore. I mean, I get 5, 10, 15 years, holding everything back, but 23 years, that's Hail Mary time for me personally. Again, not a cop.
Right. It's been a long time. I know they can, I mean, they're doing all kinds of things with DNA now. I mean, of course, they put them in the databases to see if there's a match. They're also doing genealogical DNA testing by going through and looking for family members based on DNA and basically it's reverse searching. They're looking for relatives and then narrowing it down from the relatives to who the suspect can be. Yeah. It's really cool. I've been watching a lot of cold case files here lately, and a lot of cold cases have been solved that way by doing genealogical DNA testing, looking for relatives, and then working backwards from there to get to the suspect.
Yeah.
So it's out there. It's just a matter of utilizing it.
That's wild. Well, you're watching Kansas Missing Unsolved. We'll be right back after this. We're going to look at some endangered runaways.
Part 2. Endangered Runaways, Young Lives at Risk, Stories that Demand Attention, and a Race Against Time. Together we can make a difference.
All right. And I did some updates to Shelby McDaniels. I can't remember if we covered the updates last week, but I wanted to cover again this week just to make sure I did. And she's missing from Kansas City, Kansas since March 26, 2024. 16 when she went missing. She's now 17. 5'5", 164 pounds. Blonde or white hair that has recently been discovered that she's dyed it brown. And blue eyes. It's believed that she is now in the New York area. She also has ties to Crestline, Kansas, Columbus, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Again, when she went missing, she was 16. She's now 17. 5'5" inches tall, 164 pounds, blonde or white hair that was last known to be dyed brown and blue eyes. She also has chipped teeth on the upper right side, and that far right photo that I added up there was digitally altered to show the brown hair and to also show her chipped teeth. And this information was gleaned from information that was sent to the source that had me make the flyer, and they passed it on to me and asked me to update and include it. So I went ahead and added it to the flyer. But if you have any information regarding Shelby's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Shelby located and back to where she needs to be. And I'm just really curious as to how she managed to get to New York.
Yeah. Not easy.
No. And I just recently was looking at some comments on some flyers, and I saw where Benita's mom commented on her flyers. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Mrs. Benita, she goes by Jaden Elaine Wallace, missing from Kansas City, Kansas since October 11th, 2022. 15 when she was missing. She's now 17, 5'5", 130 pounds, brown hair that was last known to be dyed black and red, which of course that could have changed since it's been so long. And brown eyes. It's believed she may still be in the Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte County area. Again, she's 15, now 17. When she went missing, she was 15. She's now 17. 5'5", weighs 130 pounds. At the time of her disappearance, her brown hair was dyed black and red. The red had faded, and the underside of her hair was shaved. And brown eyes. She does have a small tattoo of two small black triangles on her upper right arm and a birthmark on the back of her right leg. And as you can see, I've recently been able to get the photo of her tattoo on her arm, and I got that from her dad, as well as the middle name Elaine, because I didn't know that prior to talking to him. Benita was last seen wearing a pink and blue hoodie and blue jeans, and of course, been long enough to where, I'm sure she's changed clothes many times since then. If you have any information regarding Benita's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Benita located and back to where she needs to be. And this was one that Janine actually tagged me or sent the link to us in our group chat last night or yesterday, and I made it last night when I got home from work. And this one is Wilmer Alexander Pena Mena, missing from Garden City, Kansas since March 29th, 2025. 16 years old, 5'6", 110 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Wilmer was initially reported as a runaway on March 31st as of April 15th, which was yesterday. All leads have been exhausted, and the Garden City, Kansas Police Department's asking for the public's assistance in locating Wilmer. He reportedly left his residence without the family's permission in an unknown direction of travel. And he's 16, he's 5'6", 110 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing a black sweatshirt, blue jeans, and black tennis shoes. He also had a black backpack filled with clothes. If you have any information regarding Wilmer's disappearance, so you know of his whereabouts, please call the Garden City, Kansas Police Department at 620-276-1300 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Wilmer located and back to where he needs to be. And Janine, if you're watching, thank you for bringing that one to my attention yesterday. Victoria Rios Alvarez. Hey, I know your son, Doc. He goes to my school. He was very nice and lovely.
Doc, you're getting a shout out on the show from some chatter. Yeah, they say you owe money. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome.
That is cool.
One more endangered runaway. Then we got a few out-of-state cases. In the free zone is next.
I had more runaways, but a lot of them had been located before the show over the last couple of days, so had to update.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good. I'd rather throw them on the located safe reel.
And this one here is Ashley Portillo Gomez, missing out of Wichita, Kansas since April 2nd of this year. She's 17, 5'2", 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that. I mean, other than her ears are pierced. If you have any information regarding Ashley's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to help get Ashley located and back to where she needs to be. And there's my daughter. How you doing, Aurelia? That is goof. What do you mean, Queenie? That is goof.
I don't know. She's talking about Doc.
I think it's supposed to be good, not goof.
All right, one more segment, and then we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for hanging out. This is Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Follow the Facebook page, Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Follow, set reminders, all that stuff. Make sure you're sharing the flyers. We'll be right back after this.
Please do.
Part 3. Out-of-state cases. Beyond Kansas borders, stories of the lost and the unsolved remind us that every missing voice deserves to be heard.
All righty. And here's Dana. Dana Jane Bruce, missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. Was 23 when she was missing. She's now 39. 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. Dana was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight, gave the babysitter more money, and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man that Dana was with that night. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance. Police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her again after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She does not have credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And she was 23 when she went missing. She would now be 39. 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights, and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the words Rebel and silver lettering on the front, and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or toll free at 866-362-6422 or private investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070. And see what we can do to get Dana located and back home to her family. Her Aunt Ellen is watching tonight, and we want to thank her for watching, and we're doing everything we can to try to help get her located. So see what we can do to get this thing shared out and get as much information called in as we can get. All right, and this is a case that I had been making flyers for since before I started Kansas Missing and Unsolved. And I had something pop up in my news feed and made me realize I haven't covered her case on our show at all. So I wanted to get her on there because she is still missing. Her name is Alyssa Angelique Mecklemore, missing from Kent, Washington since April 9th, 2009. She was 21 when she was missing. She would now be 37, 5'1", 130 pounds, black hair that may be dyed blonde or brown eyes. She was last heard from the evening of April 9, 2009, when her grandmother told her that Alyssa's mother was very ill. Alyssa's mother died 3 days later after her disappearance. Detectives discovered that about 9:15 on April 10, 2009, someone called 911 from Alyssa's cell phone. A female voice was heard asking for help before the call ended. The phone did not have GPS, so the general location of where the call originated is unknown. The phone number listed on 911 records indicated Alyssa as the owner of the phone. The phone was out of service a few days after the 911 call and no longer took messages. Alyssa was reportedly last seen by a witness near 30th Avenue South and Kent Des Moines Road in Kent. When she was approached by a pickup, the police don't know who drove the pickup. The witness described the pickup as green, a 1990s model, possibly with an Oregon license plate. The second witness told police that Alyssa had been seen at an unspecified date prior to her disappearance with a white man in his 50s or 60s, about 5'8", 175 to 185 pounds. That man reportedly drives a green pickup and had some type of connection with Alyssa. If you have any information regarding Alyssa's disappearance, please call Detective Wales with the Kent, Washington Police Department at 253-856-5800 and see what we can do to get Alyssa located and back to where she needs to be. And like I said, I've been making flyers for this case since before Kansas Missing and Unsolved. I started making them when I was helping PPP Recovery with making their flyers before I started Kansas Missing. So, yeah. And I recently added that age progression to 37 years onto that too. That was just recently released too. So,
yeah.
See what we can do to help get her located. Let's see here. Jessica Marie Hatfield. I'm going to say it's Van Bruggen. I hope that's right. Missing from Albuquerque, New Mexico since March 18, 2025. 40 years old, 5'3", 160 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. It's believed that Jessica may be in danger and her family is concerned for her safety. And she's 40 years old, 5'3", weighs 160 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Has a tattoo on her lower back of a butterfly. The family does say there is a small chance that she could be in the Hutchinson, Kansas area. So if you have any information regarding Jessica's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Albuquerque, New Mexico Police Department at 505-242-2677 and see what we can do to get Jessica located and back home to her family. And Ellen, you're very welcome. If you want to message me after the show, please do so.
Awesome. We got 3 cases left. Thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. Really cool.
All right. This is T. Montez Hurt, missing from Leaf Summit, Missouri since February 1st, 2024. 19 when he was missing. He's now 20. 6'1", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He's originally from Tennessee. He had a mental breakdown on January 31st, 2024 in Kansas City around 3:45 in the morning. He went to St. Luke's Hospital located in the Plaza area for treatment. After his episode, T. Montez's family purchased him a Z-Trip to the Greyhound bus station so he could travel to St. Louis to be with his grandmother. He left his cell phone behind in the Z-Trip. He has not had any contact with anyone since. He does not know his way around Kansas City as he is from Tennessee. He was last seen walking on Troost at the beginning of the month, which would have been February of 2024. Again, when he went missing, he was 19. He's now 20, 6'1", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a royal blue Price Chopper polo shirt, dark green sweatpants, and black high-top Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding T. Montez's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Missouri State Highway Patrol Troop A at 816-622-0800, or the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5043, or 816-234-5111. See if we can get T. Montez located and back home to his family. Uh-oh, my brother just dropped in. And this one is Ethan Howell. He is missing from Independence, Missouri since April 4th of this year. 14 years old, 5'10", 120 pounds, blonde hair and blue eyes. Was last seen wearing a red Reebok hoodie, khaki pants, and black and white shoes. If you have any information regarding Ethan's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Missouri Police Department at 816-325-7300 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. And sweeping due to get Ethan located and back to where he needs to be.
And then last Friday night, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. It's been an awesome show.
Yeah. This is another one that was an older case that I dug out because I don't think if we have covered her on the show, it's been a long while. So I thought we needed to get her out here again. Her name is Betty Alexander, missing from Sullivan, Missouri since April 11, 2019. Was 69 when she was missing. She would now be 75. She's 4'11", 145 pounds. Dark brown or blonde hair, which I thought was an interesting combination, and blue-gray eyes. She went missing from her Center Street apartment in Sullivan, Missouri, again on April 11th, 2019. I don't know why I have 14th down there. Betty's daughter had stopped by to check on her mom at about 4:30 p.m. that day, but found her mom's door locked. Her daughter unlocked the door and could not locate her mother, but noticed that her Meals on Wheels had been delivered and was sitting on the table, along with her milk. Her glasses, which she never leaves without, were lying on a recliner. Her purse was left in the closet. Her wallet, medications, and state identification were still inside. Betty is reportedly in the beginning stages of dementia. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 69. She's now 75, 4'11", weighs 145 pounds. She has dark brown hair with all over blonde. Sent her 2 photos. And blue-gray eyes. If you have any information regarding Betty's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sullivan, Missouri Police Department at 573-468-8001 or the anonymous tip line at 573-860-5637 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. And there is a $20,000 reward being offered for information leading to Betty's whereabouts and the conviction of the person or persons responsible. So there you go. If you have any information, get that called in. Let them know so they can definitely try to get her found back home to her family.
Yeah.
I have to fix that little boo-boo on the date down there. Didn't realize I did that when I made this thing.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah, like trying to. It was nice bringing back some of the older cases we haven't done in a while because it's been a while since we've talked about any of them, and they don't need to be forgotten. So it's nice to get them back in the roll of things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good time, man. Good show, buddy. We are going to get out of here. Ricky's going to do his thing that we do every week. He's going to say a prayer for everybody missing and everybody that watches. Stay tuned to my personal Facebook page. And then my YouTube page, and I think we're gonna go to the Gazette 56 page as well tonight on the Norm Show. But yeah, Ricky, get us out of here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Kansas Missing Us on Facebook. Follow them, subscribe, all that stuff.
Yeah, see Norm hiding backstage back there. Yeah, just wanted to say thank you again for joining us tonight. Please sure you get the show shared out and the flyers shared out and let everybody know what we're here doing. And just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight so we can go over these cases and try to bring some missing people home and try to get some resolution to some unsolved homicides. And, just hopefully, as I pray all the time, that these flyers will get to the right people, with the right ears, with the right hearts that'll step up and do the right thing. And I just want to pray that everybody stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And until next week, amen.
Back Home Media.